Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Oklahoma Ride Along. Well, I'm standing out here in one of my two wheat fields. This is one of the wheat fields, and across the trees over there, the dark green you see, that's another. That's my other wheat field. I'm standing out here, and I'm not optimistic about what I'm seeing here. I'm looking out there through the field, and while the plants that are here look pretty good and pretty healthy, I just see a lot of brown. Um, I, it just looks thin to me. The stand does not look very good. And the field across the trees over there pretty much looks the same. So I don't know whether it's just I don't know whether it's just my eyes or if it just really doesn't look good. Um, Good news is the soybeans and the corn are looking quite well, and we'll go over and take a look at those here in just a minute. This is just kind of a sort of the state of the farm, what's going on. Um, I progressed a few days here in game after I got the wheat and soybeans in because there just wasn't a whole lot going on. I don't have a lot of weed pressure in any of my fields, which is nice um, because I sold my sprayer, so it's especially nice because even if I did have weed pressure, now there's a little bit here, it's a little bit over there, but not bad. Um, Even if I did have weed pressure, there's not a whole lot I could do about it because I don't have a sprayer, and I can always pay somebody to come and do it. I could pay the co-op to come and do it, but as you can see up at the top right, I do have more money um, than the last time you guys saw me, and that's because I've sold just about everything that I could possibly sell off the farm. I had some pretty good luck over the past few days in selling some of the equipment that I thought I needed whenever I I worked out the deal with the bank. There was a gravity wagon I thought I wanted. There was a old forage dump wagon, high lift dump wagon that I thought I wanted. Um, but I kind of discovered once I started working that there was I just didn't need that stuff. Now, if you see the big Farm King auger is still back there in the back, I still have that. Um, I've had couple of couple of different individuals come and look at that, but they were sort of just tire kickers, and it was kind of like one of those deals like, oh, well, we'll let you know. Oh, well, it's not quite harvest yet, so we'll let you know something. But, anyways, those haven't been sold. I did get 1,500 apiece for the old gravity wagon and the old dump wagon, so I was pretty happy with that. If you'll notice here, there used to be there used to be a corn crib right about here where I'm standing. That's gone. Interesting story about the corn crib. So there's a guy that right after I posted it, because I just took some random pictures of some junk and some junk and some better stuff that I had sitting around. But it was like I don't know 3 or 4 hours after I posted this stuff to the classifieds that this guy called me about the corn crib, and that's like the last thing I expected to sell because it's just an old corn crib. There's nobody around here that picks ear corn. I mean, this corn crib was like from forever ago because there's not a corn picker like anywhere around here unless they're picking a little bit of sweet corn or something to like sell at a roadside stand. That's it. Nobody picks ear corn. So, anyways, this guy calls me almost immediately about this corn crib. Well, the it turns out this guy is buying up old corn cribs, things like that, and he actually designs patio bars. Like so, patio like what a tiki bar is, like next to a pool, um, down in the Caribbean or whatever. Well, sort of the same thing. This guy, he buys old like old sheds. He buys old corn cribs, things like that, and he converts them into patio bars, like that. Yeah, like he puts them next to like rich people's pools in their backyards, and that's their bar. So, anyways, the dude comes and he looks at it and he's like, "Oh yeah, um, I." He looks at it and he's like, "Well, it's kind of bigger than what I usually get, um, but I can probably do something with it." He says, "I'll give you $500 for it." And I'm thinking that this we're just kind of walking through the corn. You guys can take a look. It's in pretty nice condition. It's really coming up, and I got a good stand. But anyways, this guy, he says he'll give me 500 for this whole corn crib, and I'm like, yeah, sold, dude. Like absolutely, because this whole corn crib, this is like the last thing that I'm thinking I'm gonna sell, and so yeah, he wants this corn crib. He's got a couple of guys that work for him. They're gonna come back and get it um, in a day or two. And he starts telling me about he buys old stuff. So I'm like, look around, man. Is there anything else that you see that you might want? And he looks. Initially, he's looking over this way. He parks over here. I was actually in the shop here. He parks over here. He's looking at this. He's like, well, that stuff's way too big. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not interested in selling any of that grain stuff over there. And he's like, well, wait a minute. I thought I noticed a couple of older grain bins uh, over here when I was driving in. So I was like, oh yeah, I got a couple of grain bins over there. And he's like, well, what would you take for them? And so I'm thinking, okay, this dude paid $500 for this old grain bin, or for this old corn crib. I'm thinking, I might get 1,000 out of both of these old grain bins because they're a matching pair. So I just tell him, I take $1,000 a piece. The dude did not even blink an eye. He didn't think about it for half a second. He was like, sold. Absolutely, I want them. I'll come get them. So, I'm thinking, well, crap, I might have been able to get $2,000 for these grain bins, but I didn't know there was like a backyard market for old grain bins. So, anyways, I got 500 for the corn crib, and the dude came and got it pretty immediately. I guess it was a job or something. He was going to use it on like right then. Um, so, anyways, he came and got it immediately, and this was several days ago, and then I didn't hear anything from him again. So I shot him a text and I said, hey, if you don't want these grain bins, I'm probably going to list them again. And he called me right back immediately. He said, oh no, I want the grain bins. Two, I'll be out tomorrow, and we'll start getting them down. So, anyways, they were out here yesterday, and they got the doors and ladders and all off, and they got the roofs off. And he said they're supposed to come back. He was thinking they'd be able to come back today to finish taking the rest of them down. So, next video you guys probably see, those grain bins are going to be completely gone. And if you'll remember, there was an old worn out auger um, sitting over there next to the grain bins. That's gone. It went for scrap. There was an old wheeled hay feeder over here. Uh, it was gone. It went for scrap. There was actually a nicer H&S hay feeder over here that you guys might remember seeing, and it actually a guy actually came and got it. Now, I've had a question in the comment about cattle, and I would like to eventually get some cattle, but right now I don't think I'm at the point where I really have the budget and a cash flow for cattle. So maybe in 2 or 3 more years, I might get a few head of cattle around here. I do have a little bit of pasture land right there across the road um, that I could probably put a few head on. So that is something that I'm interested in. As you can see, the soybeans are looking really good. I got an excellent stand of soybeans, and I got a pretty good feeling about the corn as long as it kind of keeps raining a little bit. We haven't had super hot temperatures yet this summer, and we have had a fair bit of rain, so that's all been good. Um, So yeah, sold the I've sold my sprayer. One of the guys that came and looked at the auger actually, he's like, well, what else? By that time, the Gravity wagon and the Jiffy Forge wagon were already sold. And the guy was like, well, what else you got? And I said, well, I got a sprayer back in the back. And he's like, oh, what about that? What about that bigger equipment back there? And I said, no, that's not really for sale. So he went back and looked for the sprayer, and he's like, well, my brother-in-law has got a sprayer just like this, and he kind of gave me some background on the sprayer. He said that there used to be a dealer for them around here, and the dealer wasn't in business for very long. Um, and there were a handful of those sprayers that got sold. Well, his brother-in-law had one, and he couldn't. He wasn't able to find parts for it anymore. So I said, yeah, after knowing, I said, well, I'd probably sell that, because if I can't get parts for, if the other guy can't get parts for it, then I probably can't either. Um, I said, yeah, I'll probably sell it. I said, I'll take $1,000. And he was like, no, I was thinking more like 500. And I said, well, how about 750? He said, okay, 750. So he took the sprayer home. So all total, um, between the scrap and the sprayer, the grain bins, the corn crib, the nice H&S hay wagon over there, and the Gravity wagon and the Jiffy wagon, um, I've actually managed to raise $8,250, between just selling all that junk that I either didn't need. I mean, not all of it was junk. Some of it was junk. Um, some of it I didn't, like the grain bins, for instance, I didn't realize there was actually a market for old, crappy, rusty grain bins. But there is. Um, so, anyways, yeah, the only thing that I still have that I think I just really don't want to keep is that auger. So, if any of you watching know somebody that needs a fairly decent, I mean, I know it looks rough, but it's really a fairly decent auger, I got one for sale. Not going to need it for a few years. Um, but yeah, so that's just kind of the state of the farm. Wanted to give you guys a real quick update. I guess, the elephant in the room, the case. So the case tractor should be on its way to the dealership today. Um, a neighbor and I actually were able to, we used the 4430, and we actually we got it started again, got it out of the fence row. We started it up so we could steer it. Still won't move under its own power or anything, but we started it up so we could steer it, and we got it pulled up here to the barnyard, so the dealership can bring their flatbed out today. They'll winch it onto the flatbed and take it to the shop. So it's going to cost me at least 2,500, and that is if everything goes extremely well. So that's going to put a dent in some cash, in the cash that I have. But I'm looking forward to hopefully having that fixed. It's going to make fall tillage much easier if I have a bigger tractor. Much easier, much quicker if I have a big tractor. If I have that thing back. Um, they didn't know how long it would take. They suspected that, if it's just the clutch, they figure with their workload now, it'll be at least a couple of weeks. Um, but depending on what else I got to do and how far they got to dig, it might be even longer. So will not have that back for harvest or anything. Not that I need it for harvest, but should have it back for fall tillage if it's fixable. And if it's not, I don't know. I guess I'll post an ad in the classifieds and send it if I can sell it, or just scrap it. I don't know. I don't want to scrap it. I want to fix it. But anyways, so yeah, that's the story with that thing. It's going to the dealership. Should be going today, and so let's see what else. As I'm walking around, I like to pace. I like to pace while I'm talking. If you can't, if you guys didn't know. Um, Oh, I'm bidding on, or actually, I'm getting ready to bid on some equipment. A couple of pieces of equipment, actually. Um, one of the pieces of equipment is in Kansas. Another one of the pieces of equipment is in Nebraska. So not too far off the beaten path, but one's in Kansas, one's in Nebraska, and I'm hoping to win them. I am going to try to win them because I kind of need them both. That's all I'm going to kind of say for now because I don't really know if I'm going to win the auctions or not. I should know. I mean, they've been on auction for quite a while, but it's just coming down in the next couple of days to whether or not the auction actually ends. One ends tomorrow, and then one ends the next day. So, in the next couple of videos, I should know whether I won or not. I've already spoke to my banker about it. He said, "Yep, I can. You know, this is how much money I can loan you on them," and so that's kind of a done deal. I know where I have to stop bidding on one or the other. So that should be pretty exciting. If I win one or both of them, should be really good. I think that's it. Oh, and one other thing, the living with the parents situation. Because if you guys don't know, there's a story that goes along with my game here, and the story is that. Well, just go back and watch the videos if you want to know what the story is. But for those of you who are keeping up with the story and know what I'm talking about, my living situation, currently living with my mom and dad because I sold my house. Well, that is going to be remedied very, very soon. I'm actually going to be moving out here to the farm in just the next should be the next couple weeks. So a lot going to go on in the next several episodes. Shouldn't be too much longer before the wheat across the road starts to turn yellow, and we'll get started on harvest with the combine that I don't own. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for coming along and listen to me ramble about the state of my farming operation. We will see you guys in the next video for some action. Hey guys, just a quick update. So I ended up winning both auctions. One is a grain truck and one is a combine. Just for fun, if you want, put down in the comments what you think they might be. See ya.